You already know who it is. It's King Nitty, the CEO of Mill Pond Enterprise. And guess who I'm checking in with? TampaMystic on Industry's Most Wanted. It's going down and we up through there.
Pull up in the I-8 Beamer with the doors up. Riding so clean and the dapper on the floor up. Hated all the way, but I bet you can't ignore us. Might as well join in, cause we catch you like the score.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's your girl, TampaMystic, and we are live on the Industry's Most Wanted podcast.
Yes, sir.
Podcast. Boom. Listen, I got one of my homies in the building that I haven't seen in a minute. We got a lot to talk about. He goes by the name of King Nitty. What's going on with your family?
Man, we up in here and we about to go through there. I got a lot to talk about.
Absolutely. Give me some energy first. You feel that good energy? We transferred it?
Man, already. It's all about the energy. You already know how it is, Tampa.
Absolutely. And, I just want to quickly give you your flowers, man. Like, literally, since I've known you and every time I've seen you, it's always been good energy, big love. I seen you and your wife at Planet Fitness. I'm about to get back in there and start doing my thing. But, yeah, it's always been love, man. So I just wanted to, give you your flowers because you are a ball of good energy, man. Shout out to you.
Man, I appreciate that. And at the same time, you need your flowers too, Tampa, because you've been down in this for a long time, really in this industry, holding people down.
Yeah.
And being that bridge. So at the same time, we got to give you your flowers.
I appreciate it. It's funny because Batman and I were just talking about it. Like, one thing that I really pride myself on when I do my interviews is not doing anything, like, and you and I talked about yesterday, to make people feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
Not for clout. It's really genuinely about you and what you want to talk about. Yeah. So before we get into everything that we need to talk about, because there's a lot, right? Where are you from originally?
I am originally from Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
I grew up on the south side. I also grew up in one of the worst projects out there. You would know it from Good Times, that type of stuff like that. Or you would also know it from Candyman. It was called Cabrini Green.
Cabrini Green. Okay. So it's crazy because a lot of people who may have seen Candyman that aren't familiar with Chicago may have thought that was just a fictitious place for the movies. Yeah. Which I learned it was a real deal place. So you grew up there?
Yeah, I was born and raised on 79th and Kenwood, but my mom got incarcerated. And when she got incarcerated and she got out, we had to move to Cabrini Green. So that was an opening experience. It's something different over there.
Nah, for real. Looking back on that to where you're at right now, would you change anything about that at all?
No, I wouldn't change anything about any part of my journey that I went through, because life is a lesson to be learned, and we are spirits in a physical body having an experience. Yeah. So the death of my mom, all the way down to my pops, to everything that I had to see growing up, made me the person I am. And the reason why I would never change it, because I walk up on people all the time and I see insecurities and people not figuring out or knowing which way to go. And by me already going through a certain thing in life, it's nothing that can faze me now.
Absolutely. You've experienced it all, from the good times, the bad times, and everywhere in between.
Yes.
What brought you out here to ATL?
Music.
Yeah.
Music. I love music that much. The first time I came out here, I was 15. I got an older sister who came down here with her pops, and me and some of my homeboys, we told I told my mom, she was cool with it, but they parents wasn't. But he had just got a little Chevy Cavalier, brand new, and he told him that he was supposed to be spending the night at my house, but we was on the way down here to Georgia. Oh. Yep.
Wow, that's like a big twist, Yeah. Usually it's, okay, I'm spending the night, but we're like sneaking out, going to the club, but you like going like few states away.
And then at 17 years old, I was so hungry because my pops died when I was 15. So when he passed away, music became my therapy. Yeah. It saved my life.
Absolutely.
So I left home at 17. Coming to Georgia.
Wow. So at what age did music really start taking, and we'll say on a like more professional level, around what age was that for you?
I would say when I got to about 22, 23, when I came home from Florida, because at that point in time, the focus was I wanted to be a CEO. I didn't want to be the artist no more, because I've been signed to 5 different labels. And then, and even before then, I was, with Chris Smith. I used to live with him out here. And then I had MC Breed. He wanted to sign me at one time. So as I went through all these different things, I started understanding that people thought getting on in the music industry was winning the lottery.
Yeah.
So then I started studying and studying and studying. And the more I studied, it made me want to take it serious so I can really prove that it can be done.
Absolutely, 100%. Throughout your journey in music, what's been the biggest, like, valuable lesson that you've learned, in music as an entrepreneur/artist?
It takes a bag, a team, and influencers.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing I've learned.
100%. It really does. And a lot of independent artists, I'm glad you said that, because they feel like they can just post a couple times on Instagram and they're going to blow up without spending any money. And I'm like, bruh, it's a business. There's no business that will thrive or grow without you investing in it.
Nah, and then you got to really use your mind on this. If you got a certain amount of followers, right, and you steady posting, you posting to the same people. You're not growing the fan base.
And facts, that's true. Great point.
So you have to reach outside of the norm as far as Facebook, Instagram, the TikToks, all that type of stuff. You really also need to embrace the organic side.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, I would say, have gotten so lazy with being able to just press the button and be like, yeah, that's good. Nah, you got to get out here and meet people, shake their hands and that type of stuff, because that is what builds the long-term fans.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And it's really a proven fact. If you look at the artists who got on before social media, that's why a lot of them are still relevant today, because of the fact that they were forced to be out in these streets, shaking hands, kissing babies, really marketing themselves and building that core fan base. And your core fan base are people that you really that are in tune with everything you got going on, not a bunch of Instagram followers.
Exactly. And for you people out there who don't understand what's going on, we're talking about like a Tech 9. You see what I'm saying? And think about Tech 9's situation. He's in a situation where he's an independent artist, but at the same time, when Watch the Throne was out, he came in equal with Kanye and Jay for touring.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely, most definitely. I know you've got a lot of people around you, throughout your years and your journey that's probably been an influence for you. What's the best gem that someone's dropped on you throughout your journey in music, if you can recall?
The best gem that someone has dropped on me. Ooh, that's hard, Tampa. I can't say on the music side, but I can say on the life side. I talked to a guy out here. His name was Jay, and at this point in time, I think he owned Deja Vu.
Okay.
And me and him was sitting there chopping up, and I tried to meet older gentlemen or people that's in a older range and financially stable. And I asked him, if you could tell yourself something when you was younger, what would it be? And he said discipline. And that word discipline in itself, boy, if you understand it and you work it, that's where success comes from.
Absolutely. With anything in life that we want to see results from, you have to be disciplined. Being in the gym, working your business, et cetera, et cetera. Like, it takes a whole lot of discipline. You're absolutely right. So that is a great gem. And it's something that stuck with you.
Yes.
So it's like anytime we feel like we're going a little astray, we revert back to that, that self-discipline and taking accountability.
Oh, my God.
That's a big one, right?
You have to be impeccable with your word. If y'all don't understand that, it's a book called The 4 Agreements. Read that. And one of the agreements is be impeccable with your word, which means when you look into the mirror, you got to be honest. So if you want to succeed, you have to say, this is reality. This is my dream. How do I put the bridge in between there? Yeah. And one of the ways you do that is by looking in the mirror and understanding, who are you really? What will it take for you to really get there?
Taking accountability.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's, fast forward a little bit. You opened a studio.
Yes.
Out here in the Atlanta area.
Yes, I did.
So let's talk about that. And when I say let's talk about it, what was it that made you decide, let me go ahead and open my own studio?
Well, as an artist, as a producer, as an engineer, as a CEO, as a videographer, as a graphic designer, as an administrator, when I start looking at the business and saying, okay, what am I spending majority of my money on? It was all those things that I named.
Yeah.
So I wanted to put a situation together where I could have majority of my money go into marketing and promotion. So what I did is I opened up my own studio and made sure it was industry standard and quality. So therefore, when everything that I kicked out, It's all up to par, and every last bit of my budget can go into what it needs to go into, and that's marketing and promotion. So I suggest y'all do the same. Invest in yourself.
Yes, absolutely. So, you know, how long was your studio open? And we're going to talk a little bit. You had a situation, you know, that we're going to call it a situation for right now.
Yes.
Prior to that, and we'll discuss it. How long was your studio open?
It was probably open for about a year and a half. It was about a year and a half before that situation happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. What's the name of the studio?
It is Mill Pond Enterprise Recording Studio.
Okay. Where did the name come from?
Okay. My mom is originally from Alabama.
Okay.
Opelika, Alabama. And she told me when she was growing up that she used to have to walk miles and miles and miles and all this type of stuff. And she said one of the things she used to pass is a mill pond.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I remember when she took me down there when I was younger, and I remember turning off this dirt road and going for miles and miles and miles till we got to this house. So I'm like, nah, this is for real. And then I look over, she shows me this old pond with this raggedy mill on it. So
that is dope. Mm-hmm. I love the fact that you incorporated something that not only represented your mom and what she shared with you, but it was also something you got to experience when you were little as well.
Yes.
It's a part of the culture that where it is, it's a part of history. And now you're keeping that history, you know, moving right along. That is really dope.
Yep.
So studio was open for about a year and a half. Everything's going good. And then
Wonderful.
Boom, what happened?
I was doing what they call philanthropy. I was helping somebody out.
Yeah.
And then me helping somebody out, that took a left turn. Had a situation where we had bought 3 suites in that building, connected them together, and I would say an associate of mine introducing people into me.
Okay.
And they wanted to do business with me as far as coming in on what I had. And I was like, nah, but the way the situation was, the building was open to whoever wanted to rent.
Yeah.
So these people come in, they rent, everything is going good. Next thing you know, we're in a situation where they're falling out down the hallway. So the dude who owns the studio, the people who's in there with him, they're all going through a thing. So I call myself trying to do some philanthropy and help the man out because one of the people started squatting in the building. He's not doing good. So I say, hey, I got some sessions going on. Let me hire you for my session.
Yeah.
Right? And what happens is people take my kindness and my energy and they don't comprehend.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I give you that energy for a reason so you won't be scared of me.
Yeah. They get too comfortable though.
You see what I'm saying? So situation was he got too comfortable and I wanted to break the business ties with him. And I still continue doing a little business with him and his associates, but I think he was more so disgruntled because of his situation.
Yeah.
So in me trying to
not taking that accountability.
You see what I'm saying? So it got to a point where he was in the building and he was threatening my life, and you know, things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate it happened that way, you know. But we moving forward from there, and that particular situation, it put me in a predicament where I had to sit in a hiatus for a certain amount of years to deal with that case.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So, you know, and you know, just to dive in a little bit, you know, I've never been in a situation where up close and personal, I felt my life was threatened. Mm-hmm. I was in a situation, I remember in my younger years, I was always hanging out in the hood and there would be people shooting and stuff, but it was never like directly at me. But what I can tell you was this: if I feel like up close and personal, my life is threatened, I'm going to do whatever I can to protect myself. And if that means to take someone else's life because they're threatening to take mine, that's just what it is.
Yeah. And you know what? To be honest with you, nobody wants to get in that situation.
Of course not.
And I don't care what all these little cats be out here running around. Oh, I'm going to do this. Look, let me explain something to you.
Yeah, stop glorifying that.
Look, at the end of the day, you know, we are all human beings.
Yes.
Don't nobody want to be out here taking nobody's life, leaving nobody to grieve or do anything of that sort. So I'm not trying to glorify the situation. My main thing is, I would say what came out of that is it allowed me to get my life in order to see who was really with me and who was against me. And it helped me narrow down to where now, because of that situation, I had to seclude. Because I had to seclude, I understood energy in a whole different way.
Absolutely.
Because when you get away from people and you're just by yourself and you're meditating and it's just you and Yahweh and y'all doing y'all thing, when you get around people, it is so much easier to read energy now.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You should be able to walk in a room and read the energy and know whether or not that's a room you want to be in.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't know how to do that.
Yep.
And like you said, you know, when things happen in our life, whether it's something tragic or something major. And I'll use an example. When I lost my mother and I lost my sister.
Yes.
It's tough.
Condolences.
Thank you. And we have to grieve.
Yes.
However, what I really got, especially when I lost my mother, because we were very close, I got so much clarity on life. Exactly what you said. It really opened my mind up to who I need to have around me and who I don't, because it makes you realize how short life really, really, really is. You know, so it's like no matter what situation happens, good or bad, we have to figure out and take the good from it and apply it every day going forward. So with that being said, you talked about some of the things, what would you say really good came from that situation on a personal level for you?
Well, I was incarcerated for a little while, so I had to do a lot of reading.
Yeah. How long were you incarcerated?
I only had to do like 2 months.
Okay.
I only had to do like 2 months off the situation, but that particular time that I was in there, I just read.
It seems like probably 20 years when you sitting down behind the walls. I don't care if it's 2 months or not. It probably seems like forever.
Yeah, it seems like forever. But what came out of it was I powered up in knowledge. I powered up in understanding that solitude is a good thing. And I also powered up in understanding that silence. And what I mean by silence, when you're moving around in the music industry, and they're constantly talking about post this, post that, put out some music, do all that, you get caught up in that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times your life gets out of control. So by me pulling back from all that and really have to just deal with my personal life, it put me in a whole better space to bring me here and now and clarify me to the exact path that I need to go down.
Absolutely. I'm a big believer. Are you spiritual?
I'm extremely spiritual.
So you believe in God?
Yes.
I really believe that God comes into our life and sits us down from time to time or intervenes in certain situations because of the fact that maybe something else may happen. So he's like, you know what, let me go ahead and intervene before something personally happens to you because you're a spiritual person. You know what I'm saying? You're a God-fearing man. You're a husband. Do you have kids?
I have 2 beautiful daughters. Hey, Natalia and Nyla, how y'all doing?
See, so you're a family man. You're a business owner. You're just a good human being. Let me just say it like that. And, there's a lot of ugliness out here in the world.
It is.
So, I feel like God uses people like you and I and, your wife and Batman who are good people as a vessel to make things better in the world, So with that being said, what are some of the things that you're doing now to change the narrative of how you operate as a business owner?
Things that I am doing to change the narrative. Okay. Well, one, I'm building better relationships.
Yeah.
And what I mean by building better relationships, that situation put me in a solitude mode.
100%.
So I had to rebuild from here. So now every relationship that I'm building from here on out, I'm making sure is worth my time and wow.
Yes.
So that's one of the things that I got out of that, moving back forward. Now I'm coming back out. Also, it gave me a different focus and it gave me a chance to sit back and study the market.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, while that happened, I became financially literate.
Yeah. Business credit, OPM, other people's money.
LLCs and all that type of stuff like that. That's what I would say. That's what really, besides the spiritual part of it, the understanding who's with you or not, the financial literacy that I gained during this time that I was down, when I look back at it, I be like, God, boy, you work in mysterious ways. I know what I asked for. I ain't want it to happen this way, but oh well.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Absolutely. But, really at the end of the day, like, you're a good person. You have to do what you have to do to protect yourself in your business.
Yes.
And that's what it is.
Yes.
Because I'm a crime junkie, just like most women are.
Yeah.
I watch all the shows, and it's like I think about different scenarios that I could personally be in and how I would respond to it, and I wouldn't have done anything different.
Better keep that strap up on you, man.
Nah, for real, because it's ugly out here.
I'm trying to tell you, and me being from Chicago, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's talk about the music side for a minute. You're from Chicago.
Yep.
Let's talk about drill music because it originated from Chicago. Shout out to Fireman. He's one of the producers who originated. He sat here with me about 2 months ago and we talked about it. What are your thoughts about the drill music scene coming out of Chicago? Because it's now everywhere.
Well, I have a different opinion on it.
Okay.
And I have a different opinion on it because drill music in itself, it was something that people in Chicago created, but it was a situation where you had another movement going on there at the same time, and I don't know how it got passed over, but it got passed over. And the drill music scene, it took off for Chicago, and thank God it did, because it brought some type of light back on Chicago.
Yeah.
So I think more so, I would have liked to have seen more of a mature situation come out of it with the artists, which means them going from the drill aspect to them growing into another, but it just kind of kept going in that direction. So, and then also you got to be careful when you dealing with this music, because it's programming to a certain extent. So I'm not going to say, hey, look, I listen back at some of my old records and think about the stuff that I was doing. I was the exact same way. So what happens is, though, I believe people need to comprehend when it comes to Chicago, the talent is so broad. Okay, we talking about drill music, right? Kanye, look how opposite that is.
Right.
So Chicago is so broad when it comes to music. So
absolutely. So it's safe to say that, throughout your years in creating music, you've matured. You're talking about something probably completely different than you were when you first started recording.
Yes.
So if people aren't familiar with, what you're doing now musically, and they tune in and listen, what are they going to hear?
Man, boy, you gonna hear a godly assassin going in. I'm talking about the syllables, the words. They just gonna. No, I'm just saying. For real. No, what's really going on with the music now is I've just gotten to a point to where I want to get straight focused to a person's mind, and I want to get them to get to a chance to hear music that is inspirating, entertaining, but more so heartfelt. Yeah. But at the same time, it has to be a balance. Yeah. Because you don't want to go too far right because you turn these people off. You don't want to go too far left.
Yes.
I think that if I would say right now, I'm on my Tupac range. And what I mean by Tupac range, he was that perfect artist where he didn't go too far left, he didn't go too far right. So when you listen to my projects, you're going to get every last bit of what you want. You're going to be ready to tear something up. You're going to be ready to cry. You're going to be ready to make love to your woman. You're going to be ready to smoke something. So it's all that. I try to give a whole broad range of music every time I drop something.
Absolutely. I love the fact that you're so diverse, because that, again, is what makes you separate and stand out from other artists out there, because oftentimes a lot of these artists, and there's no shade, but they only make one sound and one type of music. They either make all pain music or all turn up music.
Yep.
You got to have a little bit of something for everybody, and you're absolutely producing that. Are you producing, actually making the beats for some of your records, or are you working with other producers?
Well, when it comes to that, I'm one of the type of people it's about the energy.
Yeah.
So if it's a beat that's dope and it's making me automatically want to write and I get it from another producer, it's all good. But I produce myself. But right now, to show you how far I'm going into the music, I got a country album that's real dope.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got a country album that's real dope. And see,
that's already released out there?
Nah, I ain't put it out yet.
Okay, so when approximate time frame, is it going to release this year?
Nah, it ain't coming out on this side. It's going to come out next year.
Okay.
Yep, but even though I be rapping and doing all that type of stuff, I'm very, very dope with this stuff. Like, I know how to harmonize. I know how to really play notes and do all that type of stuff. So when it comes to the music, I be in there more so trying to impress myself.
As you should.
Yeah.
We are always our own biggest critic, and the only person we should be trying to outdo is ourselves.
Exactly.
We're in competition with us and nobody else at the end of the day.
There is no competition.
You do so many different things. Out of, you engineer, you produce, you're an artist, you're a business owner, you do video, you do you do all kinds of stuff. Which one is like the one you're most passionate about? If or is it equal across the board?
It's rapping. I love rapping.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. When I say I love it, I love it.
Who's your favorite artist growing up?
Tupac.
Thug Life.
Yeah. It's Tupac, and then after Tupac, it would be Scarface.
Okay.
Yep. Scarface
dope.
Is real dope. And then I would go into a Nas, and then if I really want to go into just the lyrical slang, it would be Eminem.
Nice. Very, very broad audience. I had the opportunity years ago to meet Scarface because I had went to a concert in Public Enemy was there, the Ghetto Boys, and a few other people. And me and my homegirls got invited to the after party, which was at a hotel. And it was just dope to be around them because it was all love. It was no weirdness, because back then, it was, now I wouldn't go to no after party with no rappers. It would be, but back then it was cool because I remember Flavor Flav was in the lobby playing the piano and people were just it was just fun.
Dope.
It was just a really dope experience. So absolutely. What are you currently working on right now? I know you got this country album. Is that finished already?
It's not finished, but the title is there, and I'm not gonna tell you the title just in case y'all want to steal it.
I know that's right. Keep it in the rap, in the vault.
But nah, I got an EP out right now that I'm about to drop. Actually, the first single is out called Doors Up.
Okay.
Right? And
in reference to a car?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's called Superiority Complex.
Oh, that's now that's like sounds like an intelligent, very deep going above some people's head kind of. Talk to us about it.
Okay, so first and foremost, it's hosted by Sauce Walker.
Okay, that's dope.
Right. Shout out to Sauce Walker. Oh, wait.
Hey, big Sauce Walker.
Yep. But meanwhile, I teamed up with one of my partners from Chicago named Bees.
Okay.
Right, he's an artist out Chicago doing real good. He moved to Arizona, and all while I was going through my situation with what was going on from my philanthropy and how that turned out. You know what I'm saying? Me and him always stayed in touch, and it came time for me to get back out there, and I really wanted to get involved with his situation and put two and two together and for us to move forward and really crack through. So the name of the project is Superiority Complex. The first single coming off of it is Doors Up. We got 5 joints on there. It all is singles. I said we got the first video shot is out. It's over 100,000 views right now. The second video will be dropping October 6th, the same time the EP is dropping. So I'm giving y'all that right now. Is dropping October 6th. But the 7th, we will be in Arizona with Shauna, Do or Die, and Crucial Conflict at a spot called the Shy Arizona Fest, which is also going to be our EP release party too.
Wow, you are making big moves. I'm so proud of you. Like, you've been through some ish in your life.
Yeah.
In your childhood and adulthood, and you're not allowing none of that to stand in your way.
I can't.
I'm proud of you, bro. Like, seriously.
Well, I would tell people like this, when you were sent back to do something, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And what I just said, don't let it go over your head.
Yeah.
When you were sent back to do something, you got to do what you got to do. Later on in the book, in Life and Time, I'll tell y'all about that story.
Absolutely. So that's something that you're going to write a book?
Yeah, most definitely. I want to write a book to bridge the gap for young black men out here that don't have fatherhood and that type of stuff going on, to give them a blueprint.
Absolutely.
Because it's bad out here.
A lot of young black men have mental health issues.
Yes.
And they don't address it.
Yes.
They don't want to admit to it because they feel like people are going to look down upon them. Like, anxiety, I am so transparent. I get anxiety about a lot of different stuff. And I'm the first one to admit to it.
Yeah.
I get social anxiety. Hell, traffic gives me anxiety. You know, there's just a lot of stuff. But with young black men, with a lot of the tragedies, maybe growing up with either no parents or their parents were on drugs or whatever it may be, mental health is real. Talk to us a little bit about that.
A lot of people suffer from PTSD syndrome,
yes,
especially Chicagoans, because the environment is so hostile, and the way it is. So between drugs, between gang banging, between just trying to survive out there, man, you can be caught up in some situations that can be very traumatic to your life. And a lot of people get older and they don't get a chance to go sit down with somebody and understand where the pain and all that type of stuff be going from, because a lot of people don't understand hurt people.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly right. They get hurt at a young age. It goes back to these crime shows I be watching. A lot of young men, if they're like hurt by their mother, that's why they grow up and want to kill women. Seriously,
Lord
because
Jesus.
they feel like they want to get revenge on the hurt that they were enduring when they were a child.
Yeah. And that comes from having a helpless feeling from being in that type of nurturing. But I'm here to tell you, you're not helpless, man. Let me tell you something. Yahweh is there. If you call out for him and you understand what I'm saying to you, if you call out for him and you believe in him, trust me, he will show up every time. And then you have to understand, stop putting your life in other people's hands. You got to understand what manifestation is. You got to understand what it is. You got to start reading. You got to start really comprehending energy. And okay, you wake up in the morning. What is your mind on? Whatever your mind is on, that's 9 times out of 10 what's going to come out of it. So let's talk about your hopes and dreams. So imagine if you are obsessing over your dreams all the time. What do you think going to come out of it? But if you obsess over negative stuff and the stresses, the family members calling and all this type of stuff, and we love our family. We love the people that we do it for, but sometimes you got to comprehend. He said, I speak to them in parables. Some people just don't understand, and if you do, it is a blessing. So you better take that serious while you got the time to do it.
Man, you just gave me chills because that is facts. It's crazy because I ask a lot of my guests, what is the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? And I hear, oh, I get on my phone or I smoke a blunt. Bro, you should be thanking God that you even woke up this morning. Like you said, start speaking positive affirmations early in the morning because that sets the tone for your day. But to take it even deeper, before you go to bed, make sure you don't go to bed with that on your mind and on your heart.
Man.
Because you'll wake up already with an ugly mindset. So make sure before you go to bed, you're clearing your mind and speaking positive things into your heart, into your mind, man.
Yeah, it's a rule called 369.
Talk to us.
Okay, 369 is you write it down 3 times in the morning, you write it down 6 times in the afternoon, and then you write it down 9 times right before you go to bed. And the reason why you're doing it right before you go to bed is because you're structuring your mind and your spirit to obsess over that. So then it starts coming into play more because you have to comprehend it is no such thing in between the time and the realms, because you got to understand the beginning and the ending is already here.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So all you got to do is go pull from that realm and bring it back here to the present.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
You are like dropping them gems. I love it. These are the type of conversations I like to have because honestly, you could change people's lives.
Yes.
You honestly could change people's lives, and you probably already have and may not even know it just with what you're speaking, because a lot of people don't think that way. They thrive on the negativity, and then they wonder why only negative stuff happens. You have to manifest good, positive things into your life, bro, man.
Yep.
You know I got love for you, man. You so dope. You so dope.
You got to be careful what you attract.
Yeah, absolutely. Karma's real.
Yeah, very real.
What we put out is what we get back in.
Yep.
If we put out negative stuff, we're attracting it right back in.
Yep.
Man, thank you for being here and dropping them gems.
Most definitely.
Telling us your story.
We right back up in here, y'all, like we never left.
Nah, for real. I can't wait to come check out the new studio.
It's dope.
I can't wait. Like, I want to come like ASAP this weekend or whenever.
I got a tattoo parlor in there. I got a bar in there. I got the pool room in there. I got Studio A. I got Studio B. I got the video room back there. And then I got a little gym for those who come in person that you see that you be like, oh, yeah.
So if people are interested in booking studio time, what's the best way for them to do that?
You can't book studio time.
You can't?
Nah, it's a record company now.
Okay.
Yeah, I shut it down.
I don't blame you, especially after the situation you went through. Kind of keep it more personal for yourself. Now you can pick and choose who actually is in the building.
Yep.
When you rent it out, you can't really control that too much, especially if you got other engineers that are coming in. Now you're in complete control. I don't blame you, bro. It's wicked out there.
And then my thing is, if you want to work with me and that type of stuff, that means you're going to have to come drop a bag. If you want me to produce something, if you want me to get on a feature, come drop a bag.
Nah,
for
real.
You want a video shot, that type of stuff, come drop a bag. And my thing is, in my career, anytime I wanted to build with somebody, I dropped a bag.
Yes.
So my thing is, if I put in this work, effort, and time, and then y'all got to know when y'all get around me, I'm such a good person that I'm going to give you the game for free. But the point is, you got to pay it to be around me, man. Come on now.
Absolutely. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
Period. Straight like that.
Know your worth.
Know your worth. 100%. Before we get out of here, I got 3 questions for you.
Talk to me.
1, tell everybody, where can we follow you at?
Man, you can follow me on Instagram at KingNitty74. You can follow me on all the social media sites pretty much the same way. Just Google my name. It'll pop up. I'm right there.
No, most definitely. Next, who do you want to shout out to?
Man, I would like to shout out to my wife, beautiful wife,
she
Nika.
Is beautiful over there.
Yes. I would like to shout out to my beautiful daughters, Natalia and Nyla. I would like to shout out to my great niece, Faith, my other niece, Jordan. I want to shout out to Bees. He on the project. Shondell, everybody out there at Power 92. Everybody in Chicago, all the artists in Chicago, Sinatra's, Be Easy. I'm talking about the Cold Steels, the Bo Deals, everybody out there. Man, everybody, I love y'all. I'm back.
Shout out to yourself, too.
Yeah, shout out to me. Man, no, shout out to Yahweh, Allah, whatever you want to call him. Shout out to the ultimate. Man, if y'all don't know him, man, y'all better go find out who he or she is, because it's the ultimate.
Absolutely, 100%. Last but not least, we are live. Industry's most wanted. We got the biggest in the building, Big King Nitty in the building. We ain't doing nothing little over here, you know what I'm saying?
And shout out to Industry's most wanted and TampaMystic, man. If y'all don't know who this lady is, y'all need to get y'all mind right. She been out here building a bridge for y'all forever, and she ain't got to do this, man, and she's doing it. So come support her the same way she supports y'all. You already know how this go.
I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Absolutely. What makes you the industry's most wanted?
Because I am in my own realm. And what I mean by in my own realm, I'm so spiritually sound that I don't have to follow nothing. That's why I have my own sound. That was the good thing about buying my own studio and doing that a long time ago. I never got into trying to sound like nobody else. So what makes me the industry most wanted is the simple fact that I'm innovative. And when you hear my music, you're going to hear something you ain't never heard before. You're going to feel something you ain't never felt before. And it's going to take you to that level.
Man, I appreciate you being here. Like, you just made my day.
I appreciate it.
Seriously, because I ain't gonna lie, like, I had a little bit of something that irritated me last night, and I left it where it was before I went to bed.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got up this morning, that same situation came, and I ignored it after that, because I said, not everything deserves a response. No. But you coming here and me having a chat with you, like, it just made my day right back where it was supposed to be. Thank you.
Well, I just look at it like this, Tampa, you got to become a professional matador.
Nah, for real. Absolutely, 100%. A lot of people don't get that.
Nah.
Give me some energy. Good
that might have went over their head. You know what I'm saying?
Straight like that. We up out of here, y'all.
We out. Peace.
Peace.
Pull up in the I-8 Beamer with the doors up, riding so clean and the dapper from the floor up. Hate it all you want, but I bet you can't ignore.